What's up, guys? Tune into another edition of Real Deal Fishing. I'm your host, Big R. Today I'm going to be targeting mangrove snappers. I'm down in Islamorada Key. The last time I made a video down here, I was catching parrotfish. Today I'm going to focus on these mangrove snappers, and I'm going to show you a couple of setups that I use in order to catch some of these big mangrove snappers down here. My first setup is this right here, and you see this little weight right here. It's called a little split shot weight, and I give it about maybe 2 feet towards the hook. And for my hook, I use a nice little J hook, not that big at all, maybe about a size 2, because the snappers, they can see very well. Snappers are very finicky. Now my other setup is just a straight free fall. This is just a straight hook, no weight, no sinker, no anything, just a straight hook. That's all it is. And then this one right here, which is called a Carolina rig, and what that is that's a sinker right here, and it just slides back and forth. Now the way I do that is I have this thing right here, what's called a swivel. Okay, and what you do is you tie your line. First off, put your sinker on first, and then tie your line to the end of the swivel right here, and then you go ahead and tie another piece onto the bottom of the swivel and attach that to your hook. Now that's the setup that I use. It's very simple. I'll show you again at the end of my video. Some of the bait that I'm using, I got some cut bait over here. Got some ballyhoo in there, threaded herring, a couple of Spanish sardines, some shrimp down in there too, but I've been catching them mainly on the Spanish sardines today, and a couple of threaded herrings. You can find that at your local bait store, about $7 a pack depending on where you go. It's a nice hot day, Saturday. It's early still, and the fish are already biting. There's some big snappers down here, so today you'll notice that I'll be using sometimes I put on a really big piece of bait depending on the size of the snappers that I see in front of me. Also, my line that I use red line on my rods. The reason I use red line is because I was doing a little reading when I first started catching snappers. I used to catch a lot, but a lot of them were about maybe 10 inches, which is the keeper size. In order to keep a snapper, they have to be a mangrove. It has to be at least 10 inches or bigger. I was catching a lot of 10 inches, but I was seeing a lot of bigger snappers down there, and I wasn't catching them. So I did a little reading, and I read that red line, as it gets down towards the bottom, it's a little harder for snappers to see, which is important because snappers can see very, very good. That's another reason why, if you notice with my split shot weight, that small weight that I have on there, I have it very far from that hook. Again, I'll show you that. Here's the split shot weight right here, and then you got maybe about 2 feet before you get to that hook, and that's just so they don't see the weight. Again, man, they can see very, very well. So the idea is to keep it away from their eyesight, because they got some great eyesight. Also, when you catch your snappers, man, try to stay away from the ledge, because they can see you. 9 times out of 10, they don't pick it up when they can see you. Sometimes you can bait them up if you get them chummed up really good. But where I'm at, man, I'm fishing off the ledges, as you can see, you know, right off the side of a wall here. And, you know, you gotta kind of stay off that ledge because they can see you, so you kind of give yourself a few feet from your rod. And got a couple of rod holders over here. That's these little white things you see popped up out the ground. Those are rod holders. And we just go ahead and put it in the rod holder, and we just go ahead and wait. A nice big tarpon swimming through right there. Just some of the things you see when you're down here at Islamorada Key, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and put something on, and I'm gonna show you guys how we get down here in Key West. All right, guys, I got a nice herring head on here. Actually, this is a Spanish sardine. I got the head on here. Now, normally I wouldn't use the head, but because the snappers are so big down here today, I want to link up with some of these bigger snappers. This one here, this rig that I'm using, is the free fall rig. And you just go ahead and just drop it. You can see sometimes it'll float on the top. So what you got to do is just make sure it get down there. Once it goes down, that's it. And then we'll just go ahead and I just leave it right here on the side. And I just go ahead and let it free fall. Some big snappers down there. And we'll have a fish on in a minute. Don't take long at all. Fish on, guys. Yeah. Nice snapper. Nice mangrove. He's about 10-12 inches. He's definitely a keeper. Take him on today. And you gotta be careful with these guys. They don't call them snappers for nothing. They will clamp down on your hand. So be careful. See how he's snapping? They definitely will bite you. One for the cooler, baby. My free fall has been working very well today, but I'm gonna switch it up real quick and see if we can get a couple with this nice little chunk of bait right here and a split shot weight. We're gonna see if we can do something with that right quick. I'll go out here. Throw it right out in front and let it sink. And it's a possibility that this here might not work because this current is drifting the bait back the opposite direction of the snappers. So that might not work for me. So I might switch the direction. But let's see what happens. We'll let it sit for a second and wait on the bait, on the bite. See if we can get a nice little hit real quick. Normally it doesn't take too long, so let's see what happens. So because the way the current is drifting, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cast it out another direction, and we're gonna let this drift back to snappers and see if we can get one on the line. And just wait on the bite. Up. See those little small fish? This is another reason why right now the free fall seems to be working extremely well, because the free fall I can drop it right along the side and catch fish. This right here seems to be very nerve-wracking right now, catching these little guys. Now this is a blue runner. Great bait. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep him, and I'm going to cut him up later. And when I cut him up, I'll make a video and we'll see what happens. There's no telling where to pick this up. But right now, the split shot weight isn't doing too well because I have to lock this thing right here back. I have to lock it back. That's called a bail. I have to lock it back. And it seems to be doing better off the free fall. Plus I got these little fish that's coming through, which are kind of aggravating. So I'm gonna go back to the free fall because that seems to be what's working right now. Fish on, guys. Oh. Right now, guys, I'm sticking with the free fall because that's what's working right now. One thing about fishing for snappers, I try to come down with a couple different setups like I showed you at the beginning of the video, but being that the free fall is what's working right now, I'm gonna stick with it. Sometimes I'll catch fish off of the Carolina rig or with just the split shot, but the thing is, because the free fall seems to be working so much better right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna continue catching fish with the free fall. And the free fall is just a hook, no weight, no nothing, just a hook. Fish on, folks. Fish on. This is a nice one. Now this one is a keeper. Again, this is just strictly on the free fall, guys. You swallow that. This is definitely free fall, no weight, just the bait, and just let it go ahead and float with the current. They're picking it right up. Again, guys, today I stuck with the free fall, which is basically just a hook, no weight, no anything, and just leave the bell flip and just let it drift with the current and feed the line out into the water and just wait for the snappers to pick it up and run with it. I tried a couple of other ones. I tried my split shot weight with just a little hook, and I wasn't getting too much luck with that today, so I just went on ahead and stuck with what worked today, which was the free fall, and I caught about maybe 8 or 9 of them. I had a pretty good day today. Again, you can use any type of cut bait, herring, you can use ballyhoo, sardines, any type of fish that you can cut up and just go ahead and throw out there. Sometimes I use shrimp, but not really. Snappers are more carnivore than anything, so I don't really use shrimp too much like that. I'm using 20-pound tests today. That's normally what I use to catch snappers. I don't go any bigger than that. But that's pretty much it for it, man. When you catch a mangrove snappers, you know, you kind of want to go light because they can see very well. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button and drop a comment, or if you got any questions, feel free to drop a question. I'll answer back. Stay safe. Thanks for tuning in to Real Deal Fishing.